Franklin D. Roosevelt was the 32nd President of the United States, and he had 3 terms. His third term was during World War II, and he is known as one of the most heroic and well-liked presidents ever. Marriage may have been Roosevelt's fatal flaw. Franklin D. Roosevelt married Eleanor Roosevelt on March 17, 1905. Eleanor is Franklin's distant cousin, and due to an illness that Franklin had, she commonly traveled for him and became one of the most well-liked First Ladies of the White House ever. One day, she discovered that Roosevelt was having an affair with another woman. When Eleanor found out, she moved. They never divorced, but when Roosevelt asked her to move back in with him, she refused. In F.D.R.'s third term, the United States was sent to war. The attack on Pearl Harbor caused the U.S. to go to war with Japan the next day, December 8, 1941. Although the U.S. went to war with Japan, Roosevelt refused to go to war with Germany at this time. 3 days later, December 11, 1941, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. The Allied invasion of Normandy began June 6, 1944. President Roosevelt had 3 terms in office. The 3 terms lasted from 1933 to 1945. The third term was almost entirely during World War II. Franklin was the last president in office with more than 2 terms. Roosevelt said that he would run for a third term if he was selected to run by the delegates. The delegates nominated Roosevelt 946 to 147. Franklin D. Roosevelt had a paralytic illness diagnosed as polio. Some people claim that the disease wasn't polio at all, but currently have no way to prove that it was not. He regained control of his arms and usually used bracers and a cane to support his legs. He used his wheelchair exclusively in private, and there are only 2 known pictures of him in his wheelchair because he preferred to keep his illness a secret. Due to his determination, he learned how to walk by leaning and pivoting while using a cane to support him. There's 4 seconds of video footage of him walking like this and no video of him in his wheelchair. Franklin D. Roosevelt was the 44th governor of New York. His terms lasted from 1929 to 1932. He was nominated by the Democratic Party, but only won the election as a governor by less than 1%. Franklin D. Roosevelt won his second election for governor by about 14%. Roosevelt was once the Assistant Secretary of the Navy and believed that the United States should have a strong navy at all times. He even wanted to set up a mine barrier from Norway to Scotland. When World War I ended, he was put in charge of the demobilization, but never wanted to demobilize completely. On April 12, 1945, Franklin D. Roosevelt died while in office at 3:35 p.m. He was having a portrait drawn of himself when he had a stroke and was declared dead later that day in his bedroom. Roosevelt was a very popular president, and he even got a memorial which had the 4 freedoms written on the wall. Roosevelt is a heroic man because he led the country out of the Great Depression and through World War II, even though he is fighting polio. While his marriage was not the greatest, he was a popular president and helped America get back on its feet. Like a true hero, Roosevelt was commonly liked by the public people and was killed by his paralytic illness while leading his country in 1945.